All right, everybody, let's talk a little bit of college hoops. And so here's the deal. I think in the coming weeks and months, I just don't know how much college hoops there will be to talk about. Now, this channel has really blown up. I appreciate the support of everybody who does come here for college basketball content. I do hope that over the course of the late summer and early fall, you will still come here to talk college football because we're going to have a lot of great college football content. But there really just isn't going to be all that much college basketball content here in the coming weeks and months because basically rosters are set, players are practicing behind the scenes, and there simply isn't going to be all that much news. But since I last talked about maybe one of the 2 or 3 most marquee programs in college basketball, Kentucky, there has been some news, and I do want to talk about it today. And if you're a subscriber to this channel, if you listen to this channel, if you know what I'm about and what I do here, you know that over the last couple weeks I've done a lot of kind of off-season recaps of some of the best teams in college basketball. And a few weeks ago I did Kentucky. I did it and I posted it actually on the Thursday before Memorial Day weekend. Why is that important? It is because the day that I posted it, there was still a lot of uncertainty as it pertained to Kentucky basketball. Isaiah Jackson, at the time, we didn't know what he was going to do. Davion Mintz, at the time, we didn't know what he was going to do. And the same with Keion Brooks. Well, less than 24 hours after I posted it, we got a lot of clarification as Isaiah Jackson officially entered the NBA draft. Davion Mintz is still testing the process, but Kentucky fans did get good news as Keion Brooks, who recently completed his sophomore year, excellent player, originally from Indiana, he announced that he is coming back. And when I saw that news and when I saw some quotes that he had, I knew I had to do an update on Kentucky basketball for this channel, and it is for one simple reason. It is because I believe that Keion Brooks, returning junior, announced, well, he didn't even announce, he just kind of, it's known now that he is coming back for his junior year in 21-22. I truly believe that Keion Brooks is the X factor for Kentucky and for them to reach their full potential, which I believe full potential Final Four type team. For them to reach their full potential, they need Keion Brooks to not only be great, but to evolve as a player. He is the X factor. I'm excited he's back. And so let's talk about Keion Brooks because he is a fascinating person, a fascinating character. He, of course, was the only returning player on Kentucky's roster last season and unfortunately just had a very just difficult season. I don't want to blame him. I don't want to blame the coaching staff. It's just the reality. He had a mysterious illness early in the season that forced him to miss all of preseason practice as well as a bunch of games early. And I think not only did it certainly hurt him, but it hurt the team as well. Only veteran back, only guy that knew the system, only guy that knew Coach Cal, only guy that knew the coaching staff, and he was on the sidelines and couldn't do anything. Again, not his fault. It was unfortunate, and even when he came back, it just never felt like he hit his groove. Now, what was crazy about it was he was actually excellent in his first game back. He played at Florida, first game back early in the season, goes for 12 points. You think, okay, this guy's going to be awesome. He's going to be an all-SEC type forward, and it never really clicked. It never really clicked with his team. It never really clicked with his role. And he just kind of felt like the weird, odd guy out where you never really knew how he fit in and what he was able to do. And so when you look at that, I think a lot of people would sit there and say, well, dude, Torres, the guy, he never really fit into that team last year. How can you say that he is the X factor? And the reason I say that is for a couple reasons very simply. First of all, as bad's not even the right word, but no matter what you think of Keion Brooks, first off, he was actually a little bit better than we all remember. He finished the year averaging 10 points and 7 rebounds per game for Kentucky in the 16 games that he played. If you look at it statistically, he was the team's 4th leading scorer behind Davion Mintz, Brandon Boston, Olivier Sarr. He was the team's 2nd leading rebounder behind Isaiah Jackson. And really the only reason he wasn't statistically the best rebounder is because he didn't play in enough games to qualify. But in the limited time that he played, when he never really established a role, he still averaged almost 11 points per game and led the team in rebounds. So 1, he was just flat out better than we thought he was. 2, the reason that I think he's an X factor, He is a veteran on this Kentucky team and a guy within this program that they absolutely need as a veteran leader and a veteran voice in that locker room. Yes, Kentucky revamped its roster. Yes, they've brought in a lot of guys who have played a lot of college basketball, whether it's Kellen Grady at Davidson, whether it's C.J. Frederick at Iowa, whether it's Oscar Tshiebwe at West Virginia, whether it's Severe Wheeler at Georgia. But they don't have very many guys who have been in the program and, as I said a minute ago, kind of just know Coach Cal, know the system, know the program. Yes, they have Jacob Toppin. Yes, they have Lance Ware. But to put that leadership role on them when they didn't even play that much last year, I don't think is fair, which is why I think Keion is that much more important. Because of the fact that, one, he's really talented, and two, he's a vet. He's proven he can do it at the SEC level. He has proven that he can be a key component on a really good team. Never forget, as a freshman, he won an SEC championship. I still believe had the 2020 NCAA tournament been played, Kentucky was good enough to win a national championship with Ashton Hagans and Emmanuel Quickley and Tyrese Maxey. Quickley and Maxey, of course, are both playing great in these NBA playoffs. Nick Richards as well. But finally, why I'm so intrigued and so excited to see what Keion Brooks can do is because I believe that he has the exact skill set that, one, no one on Kentucky basketball really has, and two, even more importantly, the exact skill set that Kentucky basketball needs to reach its ultimate success as a team. And, of course, to do that, they need Keion Brooks to do exactly what he is capable of doing. Reason I bring it up, think about Kentucky last year. Among all the problems, not enough veterans, not enough this, not enough three-point shooting, the biggest problem that they had, I didn't even mention point guard, which is a complete disaster. The single biggest problem that Kentucky had was this. They had not enough shooting, which led to absolutely no floor spacing. We all watched the games, clogged lane. Even when the point guard could beat the guy off the dribble, there was nowhere for him to go because you have Olivier Sarr, because you have Isaiah Jackson, because you have all these guys that can't shoot, and all it does is clog the lane. So why do I bring it up? It's because I believe that Keion is the X factor. Keion Brooks is the X factor, not only because of what I said, he's really good, veteran, all that stuff, but because his exact skill set as a 4 or a 5 that is willing and able and wanting to stretch the floor is so important to what Kentucky is going to do. And I will say, I know what some of you Kentucky fans are thinking, well, he didn't really do it last year, only shot 20% from 3. That's exactly right. But what I also give Keion Brooks credit for, I keep calling him Keion as if I know him. I've never met him. I'm sure he's a great kid. But I bring it up because Keion Brooks, when he met with the media last week, the first thing he said a couple things. One, I'm sorry that I didn't let you guys know sooner. I didn't think I had to put out a press release to let you know that I was coming back. That was one. But two, he had one quote that stood out to me. The media asked him about how his game was developing, and this is what he said. He said, I've got to get better shooting the 3, taking people off the dribble. The game is changing, and I don't want to get left behind, so I have to change my game. Bingo, red lights, sirens, that is the quote right there. That is the single most important thing for Kentucky basketball next season. Because like I said, if you watched last year, there was no floor spacing, there was too much congestion, nobody could shoot, and everybody was mismatched, okay? Well, this year, you obviously have great three-point shooting. C.J. Frederick, Kellen Grady, Ty Washington, on and on and on and on and on. But some of the big guys on the team still aren't great three-point shooters, aren't floor spacers. Oscar Tshiebwe is not a floor spacer. Lance Ware is not a floor spacer. Damian Collins, the freshman from Texas, 5-star NBA draft prospect, is not a floor spacer. And so why you need Keion Brooks, why he is so important, is because he is the one guy that has proven, despite the fact that the percentages weren't very good, that he is a guy that can space the floor and shoot threes. And so when I look at this Kentucky team, Keion Brooks and Keion Brooks' three-point development specifically is what is so important. It is the key that unlocks everything for Kentucky. Because if Keion Brooks can hit threes, guess what happens then? Then all of a sudden you can play him with Oscar Tshiebwe down low. And you got 2 Bash brothers down low to get rebounds on one end, but then you got one guy to feed the post on the other end, and the other guy can step out and hit the mid-range jumper to the 3. Same when Damian Collins on the floor. Same when Lance Ware gets on the floor. But if Keion Brooks can't hit the 3, well, you know how, John Calipari's not going to not play him. And as a matter of fact, John Calipari always shows respect and credit to his veterans. And if anything, all it's going to do is complicate things because you're basically going to have another guy that's a lot like Oscar Tshiebwe. So I give Keion Brooks credit. I'm happy to see him back. I'm happy to see him healthy. I am fascinated to see what he looks like with a full offseason under his belt. But let me take it a step further. Keion Brooks' ability to hit the three-point shot next season will be the single biggest X factor for Kentucky, and for them to reach their potential, that is exactly what he has to do. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, do me a quick favor. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button. Turn on the sirens. We will still talk college basketball as appropriate, but obviously, hopefully, you enjoy some college football content here in the coming days as well. On top of that, make sure you're following me on social media at Aaron_Torres on Twitter, and make sure to follow me on Instagram at Aaron Torres Pod.